Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Those of you who are new, welcome. Guys, eugenics are still around and it's thriving. A lot of people have no idea about just how well it's doing. Well, and that's because they don't do their research. You see, today we've basically been bred and taught to not ask questions, right? To think inside the box. So, what is eugenics, for those of you who don't know? Eugenics was a movement that was struck up, uh, pretty much birthed from Charles Darwin's theories, right? Now, Charles Darwin had a lot of racist theories, right? However, we're not talking about Charles Darwin here. We're talking about eugenics. And eugenics, what they seek to do is eliminate certain people groups, obviously racial, so the black community, minorities in general. But it was mainly the black community at the time. The mentally and physically disabled, and also the poor. Now, how does this relate to today? Well, Margaret Sanger, who was a very prominent ethicist, right? You know what I mean? She propagated the Plan B pill, right? I mean, that was one of her go-tos, right? Now, listen, guys. People like this, they're evil, okay? They don't actually care, right, about what they say on the surface. What they care about is what they say behind closed doors. And Margaret Sanger was very prominent on eliminating the black community. She was very hell-bent on that. And using the Plan B pill was one of the ways to do it, right? You see, what a lot of people, or excuse me, what elites have figured out is that they don't have to put a whole lot of effort in. They really don't. They can make you take care of yourself, right? So, you get people depressed enough, you get people poor enough, right? They won't procreate. They'll be too stressed out to. You get them on the Plan B, they'll never breed again. Plan B was one of the worst things that's ever happened to women. Ever. And, obviously you can't get pregnant while on the pill. Well, I mean, I'm sure in some cases you can, but that's not most of the cases, right? So we see, and that is heavily used today, right? Of course, abortion is one of them too. Abortion was also something that was propagated. Planned Parenthood in general, right, was propagated by Margaret Sanger, right? And abortion was definitely one of them. And that was also to eliminate the black community, but it was to do it in a way where they would do it themselves. Now, I mean, abortion and Plan B is one of the biggest sellers, right, today. I mean, millions and millions of women are going and getting these things all the time, right? And all while being cheered to do so, especially from social media, from politicians, right? Why? Because they're the elites. That's why. And after COVID, we really began to see a downturn for the average person, right? People were making less. Cost of living is going up. We we saw that. We saw that with our very eyes. I don't really have to elaborate too much on that. We saw that. The middle class got obliterated. So and then lives were destroyed because the government wanted fucking control. So you have all these lives that are ruined, right? The poor only became poorer, right? And the rich only became richer. I mean, they made billions. The pharmaceutical companies, they made billions off of this shit. Billions. And you can't buy a house these days, right? You can hardly feed yourself. So why would people add another mouth to feed? So, and that's what eugenics has really been good at, right? Is suffocating and convincing you, right, that there's really no reason to procreate. Through social engineering, right, with hookup culture and ephemism and all this other shit, pitting us against each other, right? Whether you vote red or blue, right? Making everybody so fucking tribalistic. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job of us hating each other to where we're not having kids with each other anymore, right? And it's really no wonder why all the birth rate is as low as it is, and that's the point. That is the point. That is what they want to happen, because they hate you. They hate you because you're poor, because you're disabled, because and for some, because you are of the wrong race, which I'm sure that's probably less of a thing now, but I'm pretty sure for some of them that's true. So you see millions of people going in, right? And almost, I think 70% of women now are on 60 to 70% now, I think, are on Plan B. Excuse me, 60 to 70% of women now are on Plan B, I think. And that does a lot of psychological damage to women, right? Because it essentially rewires their brain, right? Completely. I mean, a woman on Plan B is a completely different person than a woman that's not on Plan B, right? Simply because of the way that she acts, simply because of the partners that she chooses, right? I mean, it's a very well-known fact that women that are on Plan B are more attracted to more feminized men, right, than women that are not. Women are not naturally attracted to feminine men. It's just it's not how it works. It's not how it works at all, right? So whether you believe that Mother Nature designed us that way, whether you believe God or goddess or whatever, believe whatever, it doesn't fucking work. Okay. Masculine, man's man, head of household, his woman follows and supports him. That's how it works. Okay. And they've done a really good job at confusing a lot of people, into believing something different, right? And then, it's really it's really no wonder why, so many people are confused. And um, by this trend, the birth rate is going to continue to go down, right? And we will die out. The average day person here in the West, here in America specifically, will die out. Okay. So we need to speak out about this shit, right? We need to educate. We need to educate our people. This needs to be more of a conversation. This needs to stop being so suppressed, right? This needs to be information that people need to hear, right? Especially us men, guys. We have to do our due diligence and look into this shit, right? Because our women, our children depend on it, right? We have to really start caring about community again. No one cares about each other anymore. And that's also a part of the plan, well, as I was saying earlier. So, guys, we got to do our part, okay? So help me spread this message. So that's pretty much all I got, man. I want to give you some practical things to really take with you here. Talk about this shit, okay? Talk about it. Talk about it at home. Talk about it at school. Talk about it, when you're just striking up conversation at the coffee shop or whatnot. Just talk about it. If it's in people's minds, right, and if it's very recent, it's going to gain traction. And that's the whole point of it, right? We want our voices heard. So, and we do something about it. We talk about it. We make it known. So, guys, if this information really helped you out, I would appreciate you hitting that like and subscribe button, please. And like I was saying earlier, please share this. Also, leave a comment. Okay, I read the comments. I respond to them. So, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other too, right? So, that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you watched this video until the end, you guys are the real ones. Appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon.